Looking at this building, you wouldn't think that you had a concern in the world. However, I beg to differ. This wall has to have been recently painted, and it looks like it's in good shape. It could even be well maintained. Now, the problem with this wall, and the reason why I'm making the video, is because this wall is next to a parking lot. And anytime you have a building next to a parking lot that is unprotected, you could end up with some type of damage eventually. However, I do have a solution that might not solve all of your problems, but it will solve some of them. And that would be to nail a board, considerably a larger board, a 2x10, 2x12, or a 2x14, about bumper height. And again, you're not going to, if some guy comes in with one of those big monster four-wheelers, you're not going to be able to catch everybody all the time. But you could figure out a average height of most bumpers and nail a large board that width across the width of the building. Like I said, you can see the black arrow is pointing to the bumper, and it's kind of lining up with the board. And what this does is it will prevent, if someone is backing up into the building, it's going to give you a little more insurance that they're not going to come through the building because you're going to have this board here. Another thing it's going to do is prevent people from scraping up against the building with their bumpers, up against the plywood, and damaging the plywood. And instead of painting the wall, all you're going to need to do every once in a while is to get a roller and paint the 2x12, and you're done. Because trust me, these walls that are located in parking lots like this are going to get scraped up and scuffed up, and there is almost nothing you can do about it. The more traffic you have in the parking lot, the greater the chances will be of someone eventually running into this building. And again, I mean, some people actually just use the building as a guide. Hey, they'll back up until they tap into it and then pull forward. So just another tip that I thought I would throw out there for anybody who has a situation like this. And of course, there are other things you can do. However, something like this would be relatively inexpensive. And don't forget, you could always do something like this. If someone did, let's just say they backed into the siding and did a little bit of damage, maybe you could cover it up with a board like this instead of replacing the wall. So, you know, and something else that I'd like to suggest is screw this board on with some long screws. Do not nail it on, because that way when someone damages the board, which like I said, you never know, you can actually just take the board off. You're not going to have to pry it off of the wall with some type of a pry bar. So lag screws, something like that. Something to where you can remove the board easily if it ever does become damaged.